Hey Capricorn, thanks so much for tuning into my channel. It's Romy Wyser here. This is your July 2020 tarot card reading. This is a general reading designed to give you intuitive insights into your own soul journey in the month ahead. If you are resonating with my work, please consider joining me for the extended version of the reading. You can find the link for that in the description box underneath the video and over on my website romywyser.com. Let's take a look, see what's coming out for you this week. Okay Capricorn, let's take a look and see what July's energy story is for you. Very powerful month ahead. We've got a full moon, which is also a lunar eclipse in your sign on the 5th. And we also have Saturn, which is currently retrograde in Aquarius, moving back into your sign at the start of the month to complete this transit through to the end of the year. So, Ace of Cups to open your reading. And I like the beautiful kind of azure blue that's coming forth in this particular card. This is the Painted Tarot, a new deck that's just out. And as we navigate our way through Cancer season and all of the kind of tidal waves of emotions that are taking us on this incredibly deep journey and soul review with all of these planets retrograde, I think what you're doing is really coming into this heart place that's understanding where the missing piece is. And for some of you that might lay deep within a part of your own psyche that you need to reconnect with. For others, I think it's going to be new connections that are formed this month, or the deliverance of something that comes into your life that you absolutely resonate and bond and connect with at a really, really deep, beautiful level. The Ace of Cups for me is bringing in such a sweet energy that I think is an antidote to many of you in terms of some of the harsher aspects of what you might have been experiencing through this eclipse season. Now, the full moon eclipse in your sign is trining Uranus, which brings in some positive and unexpected change. It also closes out the fact that we've been working with the Cancer Capricorn eclipses for the last couple of years. And so the learning that you're taking from that, but also I think your readiness to begin something new, to start to work on a different aspect of your life, of yourself, is also really evident through this month of July. And I think you're going to be feeling that. There's a sense that I'm getting of you just getting to the point where it's like, okay, I'm done with with that particular aspect of my soul growth, and give me something new to work on. I've shown myself where I need to change. I'm doing the work, I'm integrating. Now I need more. I'm hungry for more. And actually the Ace of Cups as well brings in this little sense of yearning and craving, and like not in a sort of lack-based way, but just in this knowing that you're kind of feeling and sensing into something new and something fresh, and perhaps it's not shown up quite yet, but you can feel it coming. And so as you move through July, I think as you kind of align into that beautiful energy a little bit more, it's going to start to show up for you in really beautiful ways. Now, on the 12th of the month, Sun trines with Neptune, and I think that's going to deliver for many of you recognition and validation of the progress that you've made in terms of the work that you've been doing on yourself, all around that area of self-love and value, and the way that the courage and confidence that you're having to put yourself out there, to step up, to take charge, to assert boundaries. Like all of these aspects are, coming in and, delivering just a moment where you can actually take a great sense of pride and accomplishment in the journey so far. So Page of Swords energy coming in here. Could be an air sign, a Gemini, Aquarius, or a Libra. But what I feel from this card today is that she's the messenger for you. When we're looking at the missing piece, I think that this message, this information is traveling towards you. And it may well be through the connection of somebody new, through a new project or a new passion. It may well be something that's coming from your higher self as you work to connect more closely, more deeply with your guides, with the universe, with whatever your spirit or religion or your philosophy is. So that message coming in, though, making perfect sense to you on a very individual level. So I think that the signs that are going to show up for you in July, Capricorn, are going to really help you to make some important decisions, and that's going to be really necessary. I love the fact that she's coming out of the darkness here and really showing this kind of vision of newness, you know. And I think that the deliverance of both the Ace and the Page here is inviting you to reimagine things for yourself at this point in the game. You know, looking at 2020 and understanding that July is such a pivotal time in the year as you decide what the future should hold for you now, and the fact that you're going to need to continue to create space for some of these new energies to come in, to be able to hear that message, to be able to receive it in a way that's going to make sense to you. There's a suggestion that you are needing to dedicate something. You know, it's almost like dedicating more time to a practice, dedicating a commitment to say, you know, if I want to enjoy a healthier relationship, if I want to see more progress within my work, like whatever it is, I'm going to really put myself all in, because there's something about that Ace of Cups where I just have you just saying, right, I'm just all in, I'm just going to go for this, I'm going to open up to this, I'm going to embrace the expansion of it all. And part of that means having to draw a line on perhaps, you know, some of the more challenging or difficult experiences that have transpired of late and what they've meant. But here, another Ace of Coins coming in. So this freshness of energy that's being afforded to you with the innovation of the Page of Swords bodes incredibly well for those that are trying to make sense of where they stand in relation to career, to business, to where they want to spend their time. But even from a relationship perspective, as Venus has moved direct from the 25th of June and then Mercury moves direct as of the 12th of July, we also have a balancing and a leveling out of the energy that starts to open lines of communication up much more freely. You know, it's interesting that I see both of these aces are sort of looking towards this page in the center here as well. And if I say just for a moment, Capricorn, that this is representative of your energy as you emerge out of a time that's maybe felt a little bit more challenging for you, what we're seeing is that there are people, there are opportunities coming to you, being presented to you. So you're almost in a position here where you're getting to look at multiple possibilities. And I want you to enjoy that because, one, you're deserving of it. And two, it's also meant to show you that anything that's felt blocked or stagnant or difficult was removed or you were redirected for a reason. It was to be able to create space so that the quality of things that are now coming in are actually way better serving for your vibration and your energy. And actually what you then decide to do with that and how you interpret some of these offers and the potentials that are coming forth is really going to help set the tone for what comes next. So the star energy coming through for you, deeply healing. And I think some of you really need that kind of an energy. So where we marry the energy of the star, the vision, the hope, the renewal, the healing, and then we bring together all of the new beginning and the freshness of these aces. Now remember, we've got 2 new moons with the Cancer this season, so it is giving us the opportunity to kind of almost double back. You know, the first one on the 21st with the solar eclipse and solstice energy, and then we revisit again on the 20th of July, that Cancer new moon. So you're getting the time to kind of really think through this month what it is that you want to put the investment and the time towards, where you want to open up a new pathway, where you're looking for expansion to happen in your life, and where you want to commit to that. Now, again, the star could link into an Aquarius energy that might be significant for some of you. If that is the case, I see communication opening up and being far more balanced, and them being able to bring something to the table. Perhaps you've been looking for that. I also see, though, that the essence of that star energy, incredibly celestial, is helping many of you to link in to a higher divine intelligence through this month of July. And I think that's going to be really important. Where I see you doing incredibly well in July, Capricorn, as opposed to some of the other signs that are also navigating these energies, is that July is affording us a very spiritually led, guided kind of pull towards the path that we're meant to be embarking upon and where we're meant to move towards. But there's also a lot of heaviness and density and kind of just challenging that feeling, that weighty feeling that just kind of feels like you're trying to work through mud. But your sign is so adept at just sort of working with that heavier earth energy and being able to keep going, being able to kind of make it up the mountain and traverse all these like more challenging, difficult landscapes. So when we kind of fuse, we've got this fusion of the two opposites of that, I actually see that with the full moon in your sign, you're getting the power charge to be able to marry those two energies really beautifully and come to a point of understanding with that missing piece that's going to make an awful lot of sense for you. I love that the star sits beneath that Ace of Cups, and you may well find that, if you are looking at new connections, if you're wanting to form, either new romantic or platonic or even professional relationships, I think there's something that's very fated about what's coming in for you in that regard, and actually it's something that you can work with from a very visionary perspective. It means that you're going to be on the same page. It means that you're going to love the same things. You're going to have the same outlook in terms of what your values are. Perhaps the journeys that you've been on may feel quite similar. There's this real sense of kind of deja vu that comes, I think, in terms of the connections that you come into contact with through this month. And even if you're revisiting and people are coming back into your life and back into your energy through this month, I see you standing strong and being able to really figure out what's right for you and who's right for you. Card of the Chariot, again, we've got this beautiful full moon that's illuminated, absolutely linking into this 5th of the month. So see that as a very pivotal point in this journey, not only in July, but actually in this year as a whole for you, Capricorn. But the card of the Chariot, all these horses driving forward, she's absolutely focused, yeah? Clearly deciding on the direction that she wants to take. Now, interestingly, she is moving in an opposite direction from the star energy here. So perhaps you are making a choice or a decision about a connection or an energy you want to move away from that perhaps is Aquarius or represented by this energy. But also what it shows me is that you may take a complete U-turn on a particular directive, so if there's been a specific idea or even if you're partway down the line, or you're looking at change of jobs, or just something comes in that perhaps is a little bit unexpected, but it delivers you such a positive opportunity. Remember, we talked about the idea that things are coming to you this month, that you can't not say yes. You can't not just take a chance and move forward with it. Now, the Chariot also links into Cancerian energy, which of course we're working through in the first part of this month, but maybe there is a Cancer in your experience as well that's going to be important through this month of July. Again, if that's the case, and even if you have opposing views and there's some differences of opinion going on, I still feel that we have the opportunity to come together as long as we're open and honest in terms of our communication. That Page of Swords is going to be absolutely vital as an energy for you this month, for you to be able to express new ideas and some changes that you want to make, and perhaps some trends or things that you're identifying, themes that you're seeing emerging. It's using your voice, it's being able to write, it's being able to communicate, to publish. It's a fantastic energy for any of you that are doing anything regards to the media this month to work with as well, because I just see it's all sort of forward motion for you from that perspective. And here we have the card of the World. I love the fact that the Chariot's just powering towards the world, because you're literally coming to the point of completion around this chapter of energy, and you're so ready for it. I mean, my goodness, by the time Saturn comes out of your sign fully at the end toward the end of this year, then I think you're just going to feel that lightness so powerfully. And of course, the world is ruled by Saturn, which is also your ruling energy. Interestingly, on the 20th of the month, the new moon is actually opposing Saturn. So there's a little bit of a tough challenge that comes in and around that time of the month for us to navigate. But like I said, if you're working with that chariot, then you're going to be successful. You're going to overcome whatever that block or whatever that challenge is. You're going to do it with a mindset that is absolutely focused and intentional towards the bigger picture and where you see yourself and where you want to get to. I think that card of the world as well is just bringing in this sense of optimism and positivity about what comes next. So you're definitely starting to feel the freshness of some new energy coming in. These are beautiful cards to be working with. The Star in the World, the Chariot, as we navigate through July. Now, as we make our way into Leo season towards the end of the month, we're going into 8th house energy for you, right? For Capricorn rising especially. So this is this time of metamorphosis that's taking place. And 5 of Cups energy, of course, invites us to review and to perhaps assess where some of those emotional disappointments have taken place. And 8th house can be kind of a heavy energy in terms of looking at the internalization of some of the fears that we've have, or the grief and the loss that we've felt. And it's not anything that we can avoid. It's not anything that we can avoid. What I think is really interesting here though is, I'm looking at the hummingbird here, and I'm seeing it kind of pointed directly towards her throat chakra. And then I'm linking to the Page of Swords, and I'm seeing the need to speak up, the need to speak out. And then I'm looking at the world, and I can see this hummingbird here coming in as well. So it's like the guide to help you say what you need to say in certain situations, and then be able to draw a line and bring something to a conclusion. So I guess there's almost this sense of closure coming in. Now, I'm always one to say that we bring closure for ourselves. The minute that we say we're waiting for somebody to give us closure, we're kind of disempowering ourselves, aren't we? But what I do feel you're going to be afforded through this month, if you need it in certain areas, Capricorn, is this sense of closure that allows you to just say, okay, like now I can move on and direct my energy towards something that's more meaningful for me. And I think that that's going to be important in helping you to make sense, perhaps, of what this energy represented for you, okay? Remember, through Cancer season, we're on the emotional high and low. Yeah, we're looking at how we internalize those emotions. And, with Chiron moving retrograde on the 11th, the wounded healer planet, of course, it activates a very sensitive part of us. And when Mercury's retrograde in Cancer as well, we can really take things to heart. 10 of Wands coming in, and it may just feel a little bit burdensome, at some points through the month. Remember when I talk about this dense, heavy energy. What I think is interesting though is we just are reaching this really interesting sort of crisis point in the middle part of the year. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I just mean that in the sense that you're coming to this absolute point of knowing where, something has been forced up into the light. That's what the eclipses are doing. They're revealing so that adjustments and changes can take place, and that you can have space for all of these beautiful new opportunities to come in for you. But the 10 of Wands is saying, like, where have you taken on too much? Where do you still feel really weighed down? What is draining your energy? What feels heavy? Anything that feels heavy doesn't have a place with where you're going. And I think it's only you that can make those, what might be fairly difficult decisions in terms of what you want to place down, what you want to set aside. But let's also remember that the 10 of Wands, is an energy of where you've been working towards something because it matters. Yeah, you've been putting the time and the effort into a business. You've been building a home, you've been saving, you've been putting the effort into a new relationship or into your self-care or your physicality, your body, whatever it is, like it's been as a result of a commitment that you've made, and you're almost there. So the other message that I want to say is, even through the disappointment and the setback, this is also not the time to give up. And actually that's what your Chariot card's also reminding you of, because that's the will and the drive to succeed, you know, against all odds. And you will. And perhaps, you know, at this stage in the journey, it doesn't need to be perfect, but you just need to keep going. And I think that's the other message that comes through really strongly for you. Not only is the discovery of the missing piece, and maybe for some of you that missing piece is actually just digging a little bit deeper to find that last little bit of energy to get over the line with something. And remember, your World card is the indication that you're almost there. You're just reaching that point of accomplishment. And then it's going to be something to celebrate. Hanged Man, you know, is a blessing in some ways, because what it's going to enable you to do through this month is, at just the right moment, Capricorn, pause and realize how far you've come and charge your energy up, and perhaps even step back from someone or something that is overly draining or taking too much time, so that you can actually just enjoy the significance of the changes that are about to unfold or have already begun to change in and around your energy, okay? So of course, sometimes it brings in some delays and some frustrations around things not moving as quickly, but we have to just fully let that go to the universe and say, if we're so locked into the vision, which you are, if all of these possibilities are on their way to you, which they are, if we're going to get to a beautiful point of completion and positivity at some point on this journey, which you are, then actually you can then just allow yourself for a moment to say, you know what, I'm just going to surrender and sacrifice myself into the deeper spiritual understanding of this journey and what it represents and what it means to me, okay? And I think that's going to be a really beautiful thing, because not only are you going to need the sacred rest aspect of it, but it's also going to just reveal to you something about you that's very personal to you. So again, back to this idea of you receiving a message, receiving a download. Hanged Man linked into Neptune. Neptune, of course, is now retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And what's interesting is, when it's retrograde, you know, Neptune is the sign of illusion and fantasy, of dreams, of kind of all those, you know, beautiful ideals that we have. And then when it backspins, it's sort of like it tears those sort of fantasies and shows us the harsh reality beneath the surface. And for some of you, that might mean, okay, it's going to take a hell of a lot of hard work, and I'm going to experience some emotional setbacks in the process, but it's not going to stop you. You know, the Hanged Man is not saying, no, don't proceed. It's just saying there's something you need to understand right now. So we're just going to hold you here in this container of energy, in this vortex, in this sacred space, just long enough so that you can actually find an acceptance or receive an illumination or an awareness. And that's priceless. Like, that's so valuable. So don't want you to look at that as saying, oh my goodness, it's going to just kind of hold everything up. I don't see that. There's too much forward movement and motion. There's too much raw energy that's coming in. This is about your acknowledgement of the bigger process. And actually some of this sort of the more flaky aspects to whatever the situation is, whether it's the people, whether it's about an idea or a vision, and that kind of being shown to you in a more clear, grounded way, which actually as Capricorn you're gonna appreciate, really, because that's what you want. You want to see, like, show me the nuts and bolts of it. Let me see how I can practically make this work. Even if I'm working on a highly spiritual level at the moment, I still need that kind of leveled earthy energy to support me. So Neptune retrograde is bringing that in for you over the next few months. So think about the Hanged Man as being just like a really powerful spiritual guide to help bring that energy forth to a situation that you need it in. And perhaps that's, just taking the rose-tinted glasses off relationship situations or connections, or how you see yourself. And maybe you've just developed a very skewed version because of situations that may well have unfolded that has seen you negatively impacted over the last few weeks and months, not down to anything that was to do with you, all the external events that have played out. And so if that is the case, again, through the month of July, you're getting a reminder as to just who you are, just what you have to offer, just what your value is. And there's like a sense of recovery that's coming through. So your oracle card is Battle of the Blues, takes steps towards positive change. So again, we've got this full moon illuminated. So again, I want to link it into this lunar eclipse in your sign. I think it's just going to give you a beautiful big charge. We also have the sword submerged, which is linking into the sword from the page here as well. So, truth to come and you being able to clear out the heavy energy. Now, she is submerged in the water. We are working our way through Cancer season, and almost like the Hanged Man kind of feels like slightly suspended. I think sometimes it's unhelpful as well to try to force or push our way from a particular emotion like too far up the scale. If you're deeply suffering or you're in a place that is incredibly challenging and complex at the moment, maybe the best you can do is to just try and find that sense of stillness, and just call your energy back. But interestingly, in the background, we've got this figure coming in on a beautiful white horse. So there's this beautiful positive charge of energy making its way towards you. And again, linking into Ace of Cups, Ace of Coins, whether it's coming through romantically, professionally, by way of an idea, by way of spiritual support, something is coming in to help you this month, Capricorn. And if you're open and you're receptive to it, you have the tools right by you. We also notice the lotus flower here, which does thrive in those muddy waters. So again, it's just this sense of you're emerging out from the darkness, from the heaviness, and what comes from that is just something really beautiful. So there definitely is positive change on the horizon where you need to see it. This is about you finding the mindset and the intentionality towards that. So your astrological card is 11th house, linking into friends. Now, Aquarius is the ruler of the 11th house, and we've got the star energy here, which also links to that. So not only are you seeking the support and the connections coming in, I think much of what's going to be showing up for you this month is also about the vision and the ideas that you have in terms of being able to connect to community, whether it be through technology, whether it be through new innovation. Page of Swords, again, delivering the idea of how can I connect more deeply than I ever have before, or more resonantly with new types of people, with new soul family, with the ones that really get me and really understand me. Incredibly important for you to start to see where you fit, and maybe you already know where you fit, but for those of you that are still kind of walking around a little bit in the dark and kind of feeling like not everything is making perfect sense, remember we talk about this month delivering the missing piece, okay? And that may well come through friendships, through support, through community in a lovely way for you. Earthed, learning how to be human in the world but not of it. I think this is probably an experience many of you are having right now as you transcend and you evolve with your spiritual practice, and perhaps the trying to make sense of the way that the world is unfolding just now, and some of the more difficult, harsher aspects that are being revealed, and how we navigate and make sense of them, and still allow ourselves to live this human earthly experience, but allow that learning to take place. And really, what we're all moving towards is a time when there is this sense of unity, consciousness, and so much of what's coming up for you with regards to this, Capricorn, I think is helping you to understand what the footprints are going to be as we make our way towards that, what the next brick that needs to be laid down as we create this whole new pathway forward for the collective, for humanity. I think if you are feeling particularly ungrounded in this month, it's also about bringing things back home to self, you know, reminding you of what's important in your world, of the practical ways that you can make a difference. If you're feeling particularly heavy about not being able to make the impact that you would want to at this moment in time, again, I think that Spirit are inviting you to see that every single thought form, every single diligent kind of choice and decision that you make each and every day to try to be better, to try to do things differently, to educate yourself, to inform yourself, matters. And that all helps to root you, to anchor you, and to earth your energies. Okay, Capricorn, I hope this has given you a little bit of insight for this month ahead. If you're not already subscribed, please make sure you do, and drop me a like and a comment if it's resonated for you. I'm going to go ahead now and pull us some cards for the extended version of the reading. So this is a general. If you have a specific question that I've not covered off in the main part of this reading, then please put a focus on that question now for me, and I'm going to go ahead and pull us a couple of cards right now. Okay, and then I'm just going to clarify this main spread for us at the moment. So Ace of Cups, bringing in the Four of Wands here, the Ace of Wands, another beautiful Ace energy. Such sweetness here. I think you've just got some lovely communication and connection coming in the month of July, Capricorn. Page of Swords, bringing in that moon energy. Look at that beautiful full moon illuminated in both of these cards, but so important with that lunar eclipse, I think, in your sign this month. And the Hierophant, yeah, that spiritual guru, perhaps a new mentor coming in, or a Taurus energy that may well be significant for you. Card of Justice linked into the sign of Libra. Karmic rebalancing. Here we have Knight of Swords. I think that's been showing up a couple of times for you lately. But in this instance, I actually want to say I feel like you charging toward opportunity. So he's got a bit more of a positive vibe for me this month. Could also be an air sign though, a Gemini, Aquarius or Libra. And here we have Card of Death linking into that Scorpio energy. Remember, we're going to be making our way into Leo season, which is going to be 8th house for you. So that very transformative energy. The Magician and the Star. Look at that. Wow. And another Ace of Cups. This is beautiful. So the opportunity to bring something incredibly special into your life in July is here. Hanged Man. King of Wands. Okay. Fire energy. Aries, Leo or Sagittarius. Does that make sense to you? Seven of Wands. That Four of Swords almost even like looks like a world with the nest around her as well, doesn't it? Card of Temperance here. Okay, Five of Cups, Nine of Wands. There's a tiredness that's definitely kind of dragging the pull of this reading a little bit. But here I think the King of Cups is coming in as an interesting energy, almost like an antidote to help you make sense of a lot of this. And King of Swords, okay. I think he's here to remind you of what you're doing and why, because you're almost there. Full, beautiful. Possibly some relationship stuff going on there. Okay, another card of the World. Okay, Capricorn, if you want to join me for the extended, the link is in the description box underneath the video, and I'd love to continue this narrative with you there. Otherwise, I'm going to send you beautiful blessings for this month of July. Thanks for tuning in and supporting the channel. I really appreciate you.